If you're here because your feet hurt, because of plantar fasciitis or other foot pain, chances are we can take 2 exercises that are mistakenly ignored in other parts of the body and free up that pain. All right, I'm Tom Dalonzo-Baker. I'm a physical therapist from Raleigh, North Carolina, and I show people that the body's all connected, which we all agree with, but we're not treating like that. So we might have a foot pain and we stay down in the foot, maybe that leg, but we don't go to other parts. And when we go to other parts, like the trunk or the other leg, we get tremendous improvement that you would never know existed. I too was totally skeptical when I had the aha moment in 2001. I was like, there is no way this works. So without further ado, why don't I just show it to you? Go ahead and do it. Then comment down below how it works or how it didn't work for you. Typically on a first session, I can get somebody a 50% improvement, right? To prove to them, hey, the trunk affects the foot. Hey, the other foot affects the other foot, right? So then you'll begin wondering, hey, what other areas haven't I been treating that I should? Oh, no wonder why I've done all the work in this side that hurts, and no wonder why it's not improving, because I've done what I can do there. I've got to go elsewhere. So let's check it out. All I want you to do is to find a motion that bothers or increases your issue. Now with plantar fascia, oftentimes just hanging from a step really bugs it. All right, or doing heel raises really bugs it. And I would like you just to go there and see if that's the case with you or not. Now, I like to compare it to the other side just to show, oh, that's pretty good. It's our gold standard. Some of you have bilateral, both sides plantar fascia. So this should be really helpful to you too, because we're not going to stay in that area. So there's one thing we could score. How we score is on a scale of 1 to 100. So think of 1 to 10, just add a 0 to it. Like, how bad is your pain? So if you say it's a 7, add a 0 to it, it's a 70. So let's just say when I'm stretching, just hanging here, it's a 70. I hate it. But over here, it's fine. The easiest thing you can do is take the motion that you found yucky on the one side, but yet it feels normalish on the other, and hang out there and doing it. Now, if it's a stretch, just try to stretch it for a minute and see if that improves the stretch on the other side. Now, I'm not a big fan usually that the stretching on the good side is going to work, but it's a great one to try. So it does work for some people. So just hang out there for a minute, see what it does, and then see, let's say you called this a 70, is it now a 50, let's say? We're going to head to 0 with 0 pain. And if you say, yes, that works, awesome, go and do it again. To do it for another minute, 30 seconds, whatever you can do that feels decent. Do that on the good side. You could do it for your 30 seconds or a minute. Again, it's all arbitrary, the time. It's when you say, okay, that feels like a decent amount of time. You're not being too wimpy, and you're not being too, trying to emphasize it forever either. When you get done, you're going to recheck. Let's just say it stayed a 50. Okay, good, we plateaued. Now we can go and find another motion that bugs us. Maybe going into, well, we're still going to keep scoring of the one that we stretched, but maybe going up into heel raise bugs us. Okay, cool. We can go and do heel raises on the other side. How many? Well, it's usually, it's pretty heavy to lift your body on one leg. So I always tell people, if need be, go ahead and lean on something and do your heel raise. I don't know, you might be able to get 8 to 12. Some of you will be able to get 20 of those. I'm not trying to push you hard, but do about 2 sets of those before you recheck. When you recheck, now you got to score it first. So let's just say you go, wow, doing that, that's like, some of you may say it's also a 70. That's fine. So we do it. Now we do the good side. All right. So you do it. And you do your sets of 12. And then you recheck the thing that was yucky, the heel raise. Let's say it's a 70, went to a 40. Awesome. Check out what it feels like when you stretch it. It had been a 50. Now it's a 30. Awesome. It's working. Do the heel raise again. You get where I'm getting at here? Find the thing that on the bad side that doesn't like to work. Find the motion on the other side And if it feels good and normalish, do it. Okay, for reps, all right, or holds. And I like to do 2 sets before I retest. We used to do 1 set and our patients didn't get as better, and we do 2 and there was dramatic difference and they could see and feel it. So how's that for you? So that's us doing 1 motion in the lower body. When you see it, you're like, what? All right, literally, right now you might be going, no, no, no. But if you're here and you have plantar fasciitis, or you treat patients with plantar fasciitis, go and try it on the next. If it's yourself, go try it. If it's patients, try it on the next 5 people that come in with plantar fascia pain. Now, though, what we find is that going up in the trunk is incredibly powerful. Something to do, like when people sprain their ankle, look at the trajectory. So they're falling. What is trying to support them? Yes, the other leg, but they've got this trajectory, this long lever arm. And it's really, if you were to follow it, going up to the trunk. It's going up almost to the ribs. And the ribs are trying to support and tighten to prevent you from rolling any further. And it gets restrictions. So let's check to see if you're restricted in the trunk. That might be affecting that ankle. So we already have something that we know we can test to see if it's better. So let's just say our heel raise went down to a 30, plateaued. If it got all better, you're done, just do heel raises. If the stretch got down to a 20, again, it plateaued. Okay, cool. Now let's do another body area. So now we're gonna put your hands on your belly button or your chest, because my mic is right here. I'm gonna do my belly button. Don't slide your arms. It's about twisting, far as you can. Now the other side. And one's probably going to feel tighter than the other. If they both feel good, say to yourself, if I had to twist as far as I could to this side versus as far as I could on this side for 20 or 1,000 reps, which one's looser? We're going to use the looser side. If they both suck, you're not going to do this trunk exercise. So let's just say I say this way feels good to me, this way's tight, and for me, let's just say I say that's about a 25 amount of tightness. Notice it doesn't have to be pain. And I go, and I'm going to do 2 sets of 20 over here. Cool? And just go as far as you can to end range. Let your head be where it wants to. A lot of times people will kind of move their head about here, but you don't need to push your head all the way that way in case it doesn't feel good. Okay? Let your legs be, I'm up on a high surface. Let your legs go where they want to go. It's not about sitting up tall to do it unless that feels better. If slouching or being in neutral a little bit feels better, do it that way. All right? And let's just say that's 20 for me. I'm going to rest. And again, the number 20 is arbitrary, which means you can pick whatever number you want, but it needs to be enough that you're working at some, but not too little that you're really not doing much. So that's where we picked usually between 15 and 20 on a non-weight bearing activity. And this is non-weight bearing. The heel raise, that's weight bearing. All right, so that's why we did some of you for 8 reps if that's all you could do. So I'm going to do this. Let's just, for the sake of the video, in time-wise, let's say I've now done 20. I read back here and I check that to see if that 25 is lasting. I feel normal now. Awesome. Now I'm going to come back down and I'm going to check out my stretch. And I go, wow, that's awesome. Maybe it's a 10. I then do my heel raise. And I go, wow, that 30 went to a 20. It worked. The trunk changed this. This means that freeing up a trunk frees up a foot. Well, guess what? Restricting a trunk restricts a foot. You see? So now that you'll begin to seeing, hey, the body really is all connected, which we all believe. But for some reason, we as healthcare practitioners, or you guys as general public, we weren't taught that to go somewhere else. Well, now you are. Now you know. This is what I'm trying to take out to the world. Right in this video, I'm doing it for plantar fascia or foot pain. So we're not to 5 or less. So what we always try to do is get to 5 or less. And again, remember, we do a score of 1 to 100. A 5 is like a 0.5 if you use a scale 1 to 10. I'm going to do another set. And you're going to keep doing these until you get all better or it plateaus. And we're mainly focusing on what's happening in the leg, but make sure this is getting better. Those of you who had bilateral trunk problems, and I said don't do it, like when you twisted it, it was tight and yucky on both sides, you can try a trunk crunch. What's the difference between a crunch and a bend? Well, a side bend happens from the lumbar or the lower body. Okay? A crunch is crunching the ribs to the right, to the left. So the left feels much freer to me. This one's tight. But again, for me, it's like a 15, maybe even a 10. So I'll do a bunch of reps over here, which are very easy. Don't just do them. Push into end range there. Do 2 sets of 20. Very simple movement, but very powerful. You're going to do, let's just say I did 1 set. How long do you rest for? 15, 30 seconds. I don't know how conditioned or deconditioned you are. If you're deconditioned, maybe you have to wait a minute. Maybe I'll wait 2, whatever. Now do it again. These don't have a lot of rules. It's just about do what feels good. Do I have to be upright? If it feels better, that does not feel right. Being in neutral feels pretty good. Slouch, I don't like either. So in neutral. Now you can, I expect you when you're sitting, you're just sitting on a chair, okay? If you want to sit on a table, there's something, that's fine too. Just make your feet touch the ground. You usually find that more helpful. Now, once you're done with 2 sets, recheck this. Yep, feels good. Then recheck the things you had problems with. Ooh, the stretch feels really good now. That's a 0. Oh, the heel raise. Ooh, that's a 5. Awesome. Whatever you get to is awesome. Don't assume, oh, I didn't get all better. If you even get 30% better with this, it begins to show you that, wow, I have ignored the rest of the body to try to fix my foot. And that may be why you have chronic pain in it. Maybe why it keeps coming back. Maybe why it's not getting better. Cool? So basically what I've shown you is, I used to be a math teacher before I was a PT, and I showed you basically single digit addition. And that's how powerful single digit addition or single understanding of the whole body is important. But there's more to learn, okay? So first of all, I've got a free training down below for you. It walks you through this nicely, not just this, but I actually have a 1-step quick fix and a 5-step quick fix that you can do, no charge. It's free to see, all right? And go through it. And I don't care whether you have foot pain or another pain. Maybe you got foot in something else. Maybe 6 months from now, you'll get, I don't know, you'll hurt your wrist and you'll have something to do for that. So that's there for you to take advantage of. And people will always ask, Tom, what do I now do for homework? Okay, homework's simple. Test yourself. If it doesn't hurt, doesn't give you a problem, isn't getting tight, no need to treat. If you go to test yourself in 2 hours and it's tighter, but you don't have time, check yourself another hour and you go, is it tighter or is it not? If it's tighter and then getting tighter and then you do it again and it's getting tighter and you're not treating, well, it's showing you things are getting worse. So you need to go treat. If you don't, at least you know the storm's coming and you didn't prevent it. Now, sometimes you'll go to test yourself and you'll go, it's 2 hours later and it still feels good. Awesome. Another hour or two, test yourself. 2 hours later, still feels good. So now you've gone 4 hours without an issue, which means, good. Now you check another hour or two and now it's getting tight. So now we know it took you 4 to 5 hours before it came back. So great, we go treat yourselves, we fix it up. Every 2 hours we check it. Cool? And you might notice that as you're treating more and more, the span of time of improvement is getting better and better. So instead of being 4 hours now, it's 6 or 7 hours. Got it? Now, I will say this. The longer you've had this, let's say the shorter you've had this, you only had this a week or two, chances are these single digit addition motions, right, these easy ones, may make you all better. But if you've had this for 3 months, greater than 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, 3 years, chances are there's lots of things that have tightened up in your body, and we need to learn how to find those. And what you have to do is there's certain depths of those restrictions that you need to know how to progress your movements to get to there. Cool? So this isn't all and everything. This is a beginning point. Cool? And as you go through the other training, we'll share with you, this training that's down below, we'll share with you how, if you get a certain amount of improvement, but not all the way, or it's not sticking, we can show you the next step if you need to. Cool? All right. if you'll do me a favor, click the subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube. Also, I'd love to have comments about what happened when you did this, positive or negative, because I'll try to respond as best as I possibly can. Cool? All right.